Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody. We are reading from Learn Gita, Live Gita course. I hope you are all doing all right. This is chapter 3 today. Which section? 3.3.2. Okay. So, Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshikarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna. So today is very nice topic. This topic is Krishna, his devotees, and eternal relationships. So I remember, I think Dheeraj Prabhu had asked this question in the first chapter. What is the meaning of a person? So this is a section which answers that question. I think that time we said the details will be discussed in later chapters. So this is one place where this topic is discussed. Let's see how much in detail we can get it here. So this is Krishna, his devotees, and eternal relationships. Who is a person? Who is a person? The meaning of a person is he who has a form, who enjoys with his devotees in many transcendental relationships such as friend, lover, and son, and who can think and who has the ability to express and fulfill his desires. So this is the meaning of a person, a long definition given by Sir. A person is that someone who has a form, enjoys with his devotees or with other persons in many transcendental relationships. So in relationships like friend, lover, son, etc. Who can think and who has the ability to express and fulfill his desires. So he has desires, he has preferences. I like this, I don't like this. I want to do this, I don't want to do that. So he has his desires, his preferences. On the other hand, something which is not person, that has got no form. Let us see the example of a table. A table is not a person. Why? Okay, it has a form, but which is temporary. It can be destroyed, and it cannot enjoy with you. Even if I want to enjoy with the table, or I want to have a relationship with the table, I cannot have. Means the table won't enjoy. And who can think? Table cannot think. Who has the ability to express and fulfill his desires? Somebody who has desires. So table does not have any desires. Even if I break it, it won't express any desire to live longer, if that is life. But we know that is not life. That is just one configuration, which is any configuration is okay for the nature. Nature does not prefer one configuration over another. Means it is just governed by natural laws. There is no desire of the table. These and many other personal traits define a person. These are some of the traits which define a person. Okay. The set of 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita, 10.8, 9, 10 and 11, which is known as Chatushloki. I don't know. I think this version is not. I had made some edits here. Let me check in the other version. Okay. Chatushloki is very important in this context. So the 4 verses of Chatushloki, they explain how Krishna is a person. And he has all the traits which we discussed above. Okay. Let me now just open a version which I had edited, and I think those changes are not incorporated in this version. So let me just check. Divinity of Krishna. Yeah, some changes which I made in the previous version are not there here. Oh. I have to ask. Oh no. Okay. I have to ask. I think Sarvatma Shyam Prabhu to incorporate. So this spelling is wrong. Chatushloki. I have to ask him. Okay. So let's read on whatever is there. These 4 verses together state the nature of the absolute truth and the process of attaining the absolute truth. Lord Krishna defines absolute truth in 10.8 and devotional service in 10.9. He speaks as a person and assures the individuality of his devotees. As a person, he reciprocates with those who want to get liberated. So Krishna defines the absolute truth in 10.8 and devotional service in 10.9. He speaks as a person and assures the individuality of his. Okay, so Raj Kumar Yadav Prabhu has memorized the Chatushloki. Very well, very nice. These 4 verses are they completely tell what is the content of the Bhagavad Gita. So this Chatushloki is very important Bhagavad Gita. So like the entire Bhagavad Gita is condensed in these 4 verses. Lord Krishna defines absolute truth in 10.8 and devotional service in 10.9. He speaks as a person and assures the individuality of his devotees. As a person, he reciprocates with those who want to get liberated. Okay, let's see the definition of. Let me read this version, which I have edited. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Okay, anyways, let's read this one only. Okay, this verse, okay, so 10.8 is Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samandita. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Yeah, here Krishna is telling that what is the meaning of absolute truth? Absolute truth is the one who is the source of everything, source of all spiritual as well as material worlds. Like Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, there are 2 kinds of worlds, material world and spiritual world, and absolute truth must be the source of both. Everything emanates from me, means the absolute truth. Everything must be emanating from the absolute truth. The wise who perfectly know this, okay, so that is the definition part. But how about us? If a person who really understands absolute truth, he must engage in devotional service, bhajante. Bhajante, from the bhajante comes bhakti. Bhaj dhatu is the root word for bhajante as well as bhakti. So bhakti means bhajante, means devotional service. And Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. Buddha means the intelligent people. Bhava Samanvitaha means with all their hearts they worship Krishna. So they worship the absolute truth. So what is the definition of absolute truth? Absolute truth must be the source of everything. Everything must emanate from the absolute truth. And these days scientists are saying, we'll write one equation which can explain everything. Right? So they are trying to find that grand unification theory or the grand equation from which everything can be derived. Okay. So they think that is the absolute. But even if they are able to derive such an equation, that is not absolute truth, because it is first of all, it is not possible to write one equation which can explain everything just because of information theory. Right? How can all the information of the world be condensed to just one equation? Okay. So you have to add more information to be able to get something more out of it. Right? So, for example, you have you can say, take any equation, F equal to ma. You can say this equation explains all the classical mechanics, but no, this does not explain, because what is the nature of different forces? There are so many kinds of forces, right? This equation does not explain that. It just says, okay, if this much force is there, then this much acceleration will be observed if the mass is constant. Or if the mass is not constant, then again, okay, then you can say, okay, take it in a instantaneous time scale, and but even then, this equation, the mass does not. It means, okay, even if it explains the motion of one body, the body is not coming from this equation, right? So there are so many points which we can make here. I think we have discussed at some point of time. Okay. So this, even if we write one equation, it cannot be the source of everything, and everything cannot come out of that equation. So wise who know perfectly this, they worship. But there is really one source. There is a source from which everything comes. There is one source from which all the physics, all the chemistry, all the mathematics, all the existence, all the spiritual and material worlds, they are coming. And that original source is the source of all the information. That original source is the real infinite, from which infinite information is coming out, but still it remains infinite, right? Remember we discussed in the Isha Upanishad verse in the beginning. Om Sar Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamavashishyate. The second chapter, while explaining infinity, we discussed this verse. So that is the source of all the spiritual and material worlds. So this verse makes it very clear that the existence of God is independent of multitudes of universes, including their inhabitants. Our existence is completely dependent on His grace, on that Krishna's grace. Krishna is the absolute truth. He is a person, because from something impersonal, personality cannot come out. Right? Personality cannot come out from something impersonal. Personality can come out only from person. So if the original absolute truth has no personality, then whatever comes out, it also cannot have any personality. So Krishna emphatically declares that He is that God. Krishna is saying, I am that supreme absolute truth. So a wise man worships with devotion and gratitude. Such wise persons perform devotional service as defined in the next verse. So Krishna says, okay, somebody who understands absolute truth perfectly, he bhajante mam, he performs devotional service. But how he performs devotional service is explained in the next verse, 10.9. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So Krishna's devotees, they are always, it means that those who understand the absolute truth, those who perform devotional service unto the absolute truth. So what is that devotional service? So they're always thinking about Krishna, and they are dedicating their lives to Krishna's service. And in this way, it's not a boring thing, but it is a great satisfactory thing. It gives great bliss, great satisfaction. And in the end, they're not alone. It's not that they go to the forest alone and sit alone, but rather they are always enlightening one another and conversing about me. They associate with each other and converse about Krishna with each other. So this is what these wise men or wise people, they do. They discuss about Krishna, they're thinking about Krishna, they are serving Krishna, and they're discussing about Krishna. So all three activities, like Sir explains, Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. They're body, mind, and words. So this is the mind, body, and words. All three are always engaged in Krishna's service. So this is devotional service. And then, what is the outcome? Verse 10.8 states that Lord Krishna is the absolute truth, and a devotee performs devotional service to please him. The next verse states the process of devotional service, and the process is to live a Krishna conscious life where devotees are simply happy by conversing about Krishna and explaining about Krishna, the absolute truth. So, okay, this is something which I think I had edited. This thing should have come before this verse. Anyway. Okay, this next verse is, so what is the outcome? What is the result? Okay, devotees are doing, and what Krishna is doing. If Krishna is impersonal, then nothing will happen. But if Krishna is a person, then he will reciprocate, right? So that's what is now the reciprocation part. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Now Krishna is saying, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna is saying, now those Buddha, those wise persons who are constantly engaged in serving me with love. So what Krishna says, now how Krishna reciprocates? Krishna says, I give them the understanding. So Krishna helps in all three activities, in our how to use our mind in Krishna's service, how to use our body in Krishna's service, how to use our words in Krishna's service. So Krishna gives the understanding by which we can come to Krishna, we can reach Krishna very quickly. Like it is said, if we take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 10 steps towards us. So, so in this way, Krishna reciprocates. Because he is a person, he reciprocates. And we are covered by layers of ignorance which prohibit us to penetrate the divine sphere of Krishna consciousness. For attaining liberation from conditioned life, seekers of truth give up the comforts of family, friends and society and seek the shelter of the holy dham or the caves of Himalayan mountains. Still, the access to the divine realm in which Krishna operates is very difficult for such seekers. If such seekers take to devotional service as defined in verse 10.9, Krishna provides intelligence by which they can come to him. This verse thus says that Krishna reciprocates with the person Krishna reciprocates as a person or a guide with all those devotees who are engaged in Krishna Katha, topics related to Krishna consciousness. So this is reciprocation of Krishna as explained in the previous verse. Now the next verse is, further Krishna is elaborating how Krishna reciprocates even more. Tesham evankam partham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayamyatma bhavastho nana deepena bhasvata. to show them special mercy. Now Krishna is saying, earlier Krishna said that I give them the understanding, but now not just the understanding, but now he says show them to show them his special mercy. Krishna, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So now Krishna is not just giving them some understanding, but he's always residing in their hearts and destroying the darkness completely. Just like you turn on the lamp, all the darkness is gone. Similarly, Krishna is turning on the lamp and taking away all the darkness. So what here Sir is saying, what this is saying is, for attaining liberation from conditioned life. So you might have heard many people, they go to Himalayas, they go to the caves and they live there. But even after doing that, they have very little access to the divine realm in which Krishna operates. Means they have very little access to the spiritual realm. But if instead of doing all that, if they take shelter of devotional service, if they do bhakti to Krishna, as defined in verse 10.9, then Krishna provides all the intelligence which is required to go to Krishna, to reach Krishna, to understand absolute truth, to understand our relationship with the absolute truth, means relationship with Krishna. This Krishna will do without any problem. Sound is coming twice. Don't know how to. Yeah, I can mute and unmute myself. Sometimes that helps. Maybe now if it goes away. Okay, I think we are almost done. So we are saying that there is no need to go to Himalayas, living in extreme cold weather and doing very severe austerities. But what Krishna is saying is devotional service. Bhakti is something which is far more superior to every other process of self-realization. If we do bhakti, then Krishna personally helps us. Like if I'm doing austerities, I'm doing it on my own strength, and my strength is very limited, right? Little bit of cold and I get sick. Little bit of heat and I get some heat stroke, or I will not be able to function. So my own strength is very limited. But bhakti means depending on Krishna. As Krishna is saying here, we take one step towards him, and he takes 10 steps, or even more, hundreds of steps towards us. So that is what Krishna is saying in this verse, in these verses. Now in this verse 10.11, the special mercy, this verse tells the process by which Krishna provides intelligence to genuine seekers of truth. As Krishna resides within everyone's heart as a super soul, he personally guides each of his devotees with a torchlight of knowledge while vanquishing their ignorance. Krishna is a person, so also we are. But his personality is inconceivable, as he can simultaneously reciprocate with devotees who are infinite in number. In perfected state, these relationships between Krishna and his devotees are firmly established. This topic will be further elaborated in the next section. Here Krishna is saying, Krishna is saying, Krishna is a person and we are also person. But there is a difference between the two kinds of person. Why? Because I as a person am limited. I can talk to one person at a time, right? Let's say if there is a party and there are so many people gathered, and let's say I am the host. Everybody will try to come to meet me, right? Because I am the host, I am hosting the party, and everybody will try to come to meet me. But I am so limited. How many people can I meet? Or let's say if there are 10 people or 5 people coming to meet me, I can at a time I can talk to only one of them, right? I can talk to one of them, and I cannot attend everybody. I have experienced this so many times. So where there was one Rath Yatra in Boston. So I invited my lab mates and my colleagues in the, not lab mates, colleagues in Amazon. So I invited them to the Rath Yatra, saying that this is a nice festival of India. It is really huge festival, and it is celebrated in the like central Boston, which is the most famous park there. It is celebrated there. So it's huge festival, and so many people come. And I invited them all. And the Rath Yatra also goes to the main road of Boston, the main the most crowded area, and it is a huge. It's not a small Rath Yatra. It's really huge and very big Rath Yatra, and it's beautiful. So I invited them. So, and I also had services in stalls. Like there was one stall for chanting, which I was taking care of with I think one or two more devotees. So I think 2-3 of us. So I did like setting up the stall, putting everything, arranging, and making sure that things can go on smoothly. But then, as I was doing kirtan, means we were doing kirtan on the stage, I was playing mridanga. I opened my eyes and saw my colleague. He was sitting right in the front, in the first row, and he was looking at me playing mridanga. He liked mridanga. We had, so he liked me playing mridanga. So he was there, and so then I had to spend all my time with him. Means because he was there, and I thought, what else will he do, because he does not know anybody else. So I spent my time with him. But then I had so many other things to do. I could not do. There was a stall which had been set up where I was supposed to be there to do these chanting sessions with so many guests who were coming. So, but there were other devotees, they were doing, and they were calling me, and I said, how can I come? I have this guest who has come. I have to attend to him. So, but I attended. I conducted a few sessions, but still it was a very embarrassing situation that this friend was there and I was not able to, even just 2 situations I could not handle how limited I am. But Krishna is even when all the devotees come, when everybody comes, Krishna can still reciprocate with each one of them personally. Krishna is present in each one's heart personally. So this is what is difference between Krishna's personality, which is infinite, Vibhu, and our personality, which is infinitesimal, Anu. Anu means tiny, infinitesimal. Vibhu means infinite. So this is, but the thing is that one person, a jiva who is liberated, who is completely Krishna conscious, he can only understand the perfect relationship with Krishna. So I think we can stop here. Anybody has any questions? So then maybe we can meet next time. Okay, one request I have. Abhishek Prabhu, you also send message to all those who are not here in this today's meeting that everybody can go to the portal, Learn Gita, Live Gita portal, listen to the lectures, Sir's lectures, video lectures are there, these notes are also there. You have already read, I think, first 2 chapters and the 5th chapter, and now we're in 3rd chapter. So you give the tests and let us see how much is left. 3.3. Then section 2 is there. Oh, so much is there. You have to speed up a little bit. Okay, let's speed up. So let's read more in every session, so that people can also give tests. All those who have not give tests for the first 2 chapters, please give as soon as possible, and then we'll move on to the test for 3rd chapter. So in this way, you will be able to relish better. So Abhishek Prabhu, please convey this message to all those who are not there, and those who are here, they please take this request. Please take the test. Hare Krishna. Thank you.